I begin with David Andrews out of respect to David Andrews and what he did for this organization, this franchise. Pretty much everybody loves him to a man and to a woman. Your thoughts on the release of David Andrews?
I don't like it, Nick. I don't like it for a variety of reasons. First of all, being, he was waived with the failed physical designation. Everybody and their mother knew that David Andrews, if you gave him a physical right now, he was going to flunk it. He's coming off shoulder surgery. He's not ready. He's not even sure whether he's going to be back full go at any point. So he's not ready to go. That's the type of thing that you do when you know that you want to move on from somebody. And I'm sure we'll hear more. I don't want to totally overreact to the timing aspect of it because, somebody could say David was away, he was on vacation, we couldn't do it before free agency, he's having a baby, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like this for a variety of reasons. I don't like releasing him into free agency. If you're going to do this and you're going to do it, and obviously they knew they were going to do it, it wasn't because they were like, oh, wait, he's hurt, he has a shoulder injury, now we got to release him. No, they knew the situation. So why not do this before free agency? Not that I think it would have really changed things because he does have that injury, and I don't know how many teams are going to be clamoring to sign him until he's healthy. But here's the other thing. You don't definitely have a replacement. I would say the leader in the clubhouse for me right now is Ben Brown.
Yeah.
You also have Jake Andrews, who was a 4th-round pick a couple years ago, was hurt all last year. There's the Cole Strange thing. But the more I hear about not only what he put on film, but a lot of the stuff that we talked about Cole Strange, is he going to get the calls? Is he going to get the checks? Is he going to have that ability? There's a lot of question marks around that. So I don't know if the team views him as a center, but what's the harm in keeping David Andrews? You're bringing back the Josh McDaniels offense. David Andrews won 2 Super Bowls as the center in Josh McDaniels offense, at least for the leadership, the knowledge, teaching guys, that whole room's in flux at this point. I don't see the harm in keeping him around. And like, if he can't do it, if he's not any good anymore, David would understand. Everybody would understand if you cut him, I don't know, mini camp, training camp, whatever. But I just don't understand the upside. I don't understand why you would do this. I don't see how this is a win for the Patriots unless there's something going on behind the scenes where Vrabel and Andrews aren't seeing eye to eye, or they don't think he's part of the program. It's hard for me to fathom that, but I just don't understand why. I don't see why they had to make this move.
Just 2 more things about Andrews before we move on, because we got a lot to talk about. The timing bothered me a lot. Mm-hmm. And whether you want to say they could have released him before free agency, on the day of free agency, a day after free agency, whatever. What bothered me was the day you should not announce it is the day that you're having the press conference you had yesterday. Because what you did was you made David Andrews a footnote, which was ridiculous. And the fact that nobody in that building raised their hand and said, hey, look, guys, we're going to have all the new faces come in and we're going to do a press conference and we want to celebrate, the first day of free agency. Maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't also on the same day cut one of the most favorite players on this team and a leader and all that stuff. That bothered the hell out of me. Secondly, if you're going to preach culture, like Mike Vrabel has preached, I've got no problem with preaching culture. I'm cool with culture. We want culture. We want fits. Number one, I don't know who's better when it comes to culture and fit than David Andrews. Number two, and here's the most important thing, Greg. You have to do what you ask others to do. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to ask players to be professional and you're going to ask players to do right by the culture, you have to be professional and you have to do what's right by the culture. And releasing David Andrews on the day that you did is not reciprocating the feel from the players. So if you want the players to treat you well and to believe in this culture, then you best handle guys like David Andrews the right way. And they unequivocally did not by releasing that information on the day they did. And I think everybody in that building should regret that. And if they don't get it. All right, let's get to the. All right,
just one more thing on Andrews. I just wanted to clear up that, like, look, I just want to say that because I heard Ted Johnson on TV last night. I don't know what other people are saying. I haven't had a chance to listen. It's been a busy time, but a lot of people are talking about, like, the decline of David Andrews. I considering what's been going on and what he's been playing, what's been playing around him. I just disagree with that. In my grading, he has come out pretty consistent. Has it gone down a little bit? Yeah. Is this probably a projection of, well, he's not going to get all that much better at his age? Yeah, but like I said, I still think he was really good. I mean, look, he got hurt after 4 games. He only gave up like 5 pressures in those 4 games. The most he gave up, 2023, he gave up 30 pressures. Of course, that's what PFF says. I don't think mine, I have as much as that. But in the previous years for them, it was 13, 18, 12, and 20. Like, I still think he's a good player. I still would have looked at him as an option and see what he is in camp. See him out there. Now, I do think Ben Brown was, he graded out pretty well for me last year as well. And so maybe he wins it out at the end of the day. But, I don't see the reason why to make that decision now. I don't think this was, in my mind, this was not a case of David Andrews is shot. He's done. I just disagree with that completely.
The eval's the eval. I don't even care about that stuff. Like that'll come out. We'll figure out if they were right, if they upgrade on Andrews or not. Right. We'll see what their plan is. If Ben Brown does start for them, getting all emotional. I'm talking about David Andrews here, but we'll see. We'll see if Ben Brown is the answer there, or if they go out and get somebody else. Garrett Bradbury's been talked about an awful lot over the last 24 hours. What you can control is how you handle it. And whether they're right or wrong on the eval, whether Andrews is completely washed or not, you could have done a better job handling it. And I think that was a big fat fail. And again, people in that building, look in the mirror. Because if you're going to ask other people to do things right, look in the mirror.
I'm not going to lie, they had us in the first half. After agreeing to terms with the Carolina Panthers, former Eagles defensive tackle Milton Williams decided to pivot to the Patriots after being offered a 4-year deal worth $104 million, making him the 3rd highest paid defensive tackle by average annual value and the highest paid Patriots player by average annual value in team history. Now, there is skepticism over whether Williams can live up to his contract, as he's coming from an Eagles defensive line that was absolutely stacked with talent and was able to rotate players due to their depth. But I'm going to take a look at the stats and the film to prove that Milton Williams can not only be a difference maker as a pass rusher, but also as a run defender and become the key piece to what is going to be a revamped Mike Vrabel defense. Take this 3rd down red zone sack against Falcons right guard Cody Lindstrom. Lindstrom comes out of his stance with both hands out in front, and Milton Williams decides to counter by first swiping to knock the guard off balance, then continuing to swipe away the hands, getting underneath Lindstrom, and taking down Kirk Cousins for a sack. Milton Williams did a full 180 as a pass rusher in 2024. Unfortunately, the same can be said for his run defense, and not in a good way. After ranking top 10 among interior defensive linemen in run stop rate in 2023, Milton Williams graded out as a bottom 10 interior run stopper in 2024.
Make sure to become a Patriots Press Pass member so you'll get full access to this Milton Williams deep dive, as well as all of our other exclusive content.
Just wanted to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. If you want to get in on the action with us, head over there, use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.